Ready. Hi,
Hello, Dinah. How are you?
I'm good. Happy 2023. Happy New Year.
2023, yes.
I'm Dinah,
I'm Francisco,
and this is Double Espresso
podcast.
podcast. Yes.
So, how are you feeling?
I feel good. I am energized and full of positivity for the year of 2023.
Okay, that's nice. I
Yeah.
feel today like cortado.
Ah, nice.
Yes.
Good, good.
So, what questions or what lesson do you bring today?
What are your thoughts on New Year's resolution?
Oh, my New Year resolution. Well, I think we discussed this before. I normally don't have a New Year resolution, and the reason is because if I want to do something, I just do it immediately. I don't wait until New Year to start something. So I start projects whenever I feel it, and I don't pass. When you have a project in mind, there is a lot of energy coming to you, and this is something that you have not to stop. You have to continue and you have to pursue, because obviously when you start a project, immediately after you start to encounter a lot of problems. So the more energy you start with, the more easygoing you have the first days, and then the rest is just to continue on it. But nonetheless, I have some more. Of course, I have some ideas, and I
Yeah.
can give some points. So basically, one is I want to work on my body. So I want to improve my body, more exercise, more
Become
gym.
more healthy.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And also related to the food, yes, I propose myself this year to eat more homemade food rather than outside. And what about you?
Yeah. First is I recognize the idea of why wait for New Year when you can start it now. I totally agree with that, and that makes a lot of sense. Like, why do you have to wait for your New Year? Why don't you do it now and start creating the life that you want? And if you do that, then you can actually benefits on it the sooner rather than later. Yeah. But it's better to have a New Year's resolution than not having at all, because when you have a New Year's resolution and you write down your SMART goals, which is specific, M is for measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. When you have that, you have clarity in mind on what you want to achieve for the year. You may not have all the specific details or strategy on how to achieve that, and that is something that can be developed throughout your journey during the year. But yeah, I think it's important to have something in mind and have a plan, like what you've mentioned. Your goal for the year is to focus more on being healthy, on being
Yes.
stronger. So you're gonna focus more on eating healthy food and
Yes.
also doing exercise.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I had to say, last year resolution was to read more books and to spend more time doing something else that is not using my phone or watching TV. I still using a lot my phone, and I still watching TV, but I can say I've been reading a lot of books this year,
And I can
feel,
attest to that.
yeah,
I
and
can
I can
attest
feel
to
really
that.
good. So I think I will continue with that, and I'm really happy that I was able. I mean, it's actually quite difficult to maintain a promise or an objective through the whole year. What do you think is the reason why people sometimes drop off their target, maybe after 1 month, after 2 months?
Yeah, the way I see it is because New Year's resolution may sound like a big ticket. And as you've mentioned earlier, normally you start the project when you really feel like doing it, like when you have that spark of ideas, you do it. And what happens sometimes is you have these big ideas right now, but then there is no enthusiasm to it, there is no motivation to it. That
Yeah.
didn't happen
I mean, the
throughout
motivation
year.
just passed because
Yeah,
it was an
already
idea,
passed,
and then you
yeah.
have been postponing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And probably because they didn't write down with SMART goals. That's why it's important to have SMART goals. For me, for this year, my goal is really to spend more quality time with my family. And for the past 2 years, we haven't been to Philippines. So this year, 2023, is the time to really reunite with family and friends. And right now, I already have a lot of ideas in my mind on how are we gonna do it, when are we gonna travel to Philippines, and on top of that, I also would like to visit beautiful cities in Asia. Seoul, Korea, and Tokyo, Japan are also on my list. So probably what we can do is travel to these places while we are on our way to Philippines. That's one of the biggest goal that I want to really happen and I want to achieve this year. So to my family and friends in the Philippines, see you soon.
Yes, good. See you soon. And I had to say, for example, one of my strategy to continue with my objective or the strategy that I consider is to simplify as much as possible the task. So I realized when you start a project, projects are complex in many cases, and basically when you start something, it's basically because you didn't do it before, so you don't know, you are a beginner. And in your mind you have the brilliant picture of everything going smooth, easy, nicely. Like for example, if I want to draw, I will find that in my mind I will picture a very beautiful draw of a building, for example. But when I am making it in the paper, it will not look like that. I don't have yet the skills, and maybe I can get discouraged. So what I was saying is that my strategy is to simplify, to make it so simple that it's so achievable. So for example, for going to the gym, I like to simplify everything. I like to have my clothes ready for the gym. So the preparatory, the effort to go to the gym is almost zero. And I can go, it's just a decision. I want to go, I go. And I don't postpone this. If I need to have 20 minutes, 30 minutes to go to the gym, then by the time I reach the gym, I feel already forced. I want to do it, I will do it, I will make simplified steps, I will make it so easy that I can achieve it.
Yeah, that's a good one. About simplification is this idea of coming up with a podcast, the Double Espresso. The very purpose of having this podcast is to motivate, to inspire people, and to share our experiences that may be helpful, insightful to our family and friends, and to everyone listening or watching the podcast. And my husband and I, we are both working full time. We have a corporate career, and doing a podcast or doing something else outside of that can be stressful, can be tedious, especially if you have a specific target. So we would like to make it simplified. So the topics that we are discussing are really like no script. It's really like natural conversation, and we think of topics that is relevant. No editing. Probably the editing that we have is just really like cutting and putting the caption. That's it, and ready for social media.
The podcast idea was actually something that we were discussing for quite some time.
Yeah.
Actually, it happened quite near to the end of the year 2022. And we did not postpone that. We decided to do it, and the day that we did, we have much more engaged and energy to pursue for it. So we did not think more. We did not postpone the idea to start on January 1st, let's say.
Yes.
And I think this is the strategy people should follow. I mean, don't delay your projects. If you feel it to do it immediately. Use that energy to start the project. And then the second, I think we did
do it now.
Yeah, our discussion was always like I say always,
simplify.
It has to be very simple. Open the camera, switch on, and start to talk. Don't complicate the things, because at the beginning,
take two, take three. It's really just a natural conversation. And I think the beauty is because my husband and I, we always plan for many things. We always do discussions, and we always share different opinions. And so basically the only difference now is just we are recording.
It.
Yeah, we are recording, but we do this like every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think this is the concept you should get. Don't delay your projects. Consider to simplify. Consider to use a SMART process, and write it down and make it achievable. And don't get discouraged about the results. You are a beginner in your project. It's the first time. You may picture something wonderful, but it takes time, it takes efforts to achieve the best of the project.
Yeah, yeah. And regarding this podcast, if you find this useful, insightful, and you think that this is something that can help your family and friends, please do share. We have YouTube, and also we are available on Spotify, because, you know, sharing is caring. Yes.
Thank you so much, Naina. Bye.